And we're joined by Victoria and Alec from Crazy Cowboy events. How are you guys keeping?
Hi, we're good, thank you. Brilliant. Alex arrived in his dressing gown, but that's situation normal, really.
Always.
I've got a problem with my deteriorating eyes, Lee.
Bless you. It's all good, mate. It means you can't see my face, so you're fine.
I can see you. I've got my glasses on.
Ah,
At least you remember to put your clothes on, eh?
exactly.
That's the main thing.
That is the main thing. So on Saturday...
Anyway, Victoria's looking fabulous, and Lee, you're looking very handsome. Now I'm going to shut up.
Bless your heart, man. So next month, Saturday 19th of March, you guys are hosting CC7. Great lineup. I was really excited when I saw there's a lot of new bands for me to discover.
Brilliant.
Is that more of the ethos behind this one compared to previous years and changing it up? Because CC7's always been a bit more, CC events generally have always been a bit forward thinking.
Yeah, I like being described as forward thinking. Yeah, that's good. I think for this, I mean, this is the first one that I've been involved in. I didn't know much about CC prior to that, but Alec and I, we threw a lot of ideas around over the past year, and we eventually decided that for this one, we weren't sure whether it was going to be the last one or not, or whether even at one point whether it was going to go ahead or not. We decided we wanted to take it right back to where it all began, didn't we? Bring it back to its roots and draft in a bunch of really, really good, solid, reliable, easy, glammy rock bands, plenty of grit, plenty of grime, and then add in a couple of, I wouldn't say curveballs, but maybe bands that people weren't necessarily expecting. A couple of new bands that maybe people wouldn't know about, that we could say that you've heard it here first, kind of thing. And mix it all up. You know, we didn't want to be anything specific. Oh, it's all sleaze bands, it's all rock bands, it's all this. We like to mix it up a bit. But generally the ethos is that you can play at Crazy Cowboy festivals if you have a little bit of something extra that everybody else hasn't got.
A bit of extra,
we work on.
A bit of extra sparkle, that.
Yeah. No particular thing, but just something that'll make us sit up and think, well, they're not run of the mill. You know, they're not, what does Stevie Pierce call it? Rock by numbers. We don't do rock by numbers. It's got to be something, a band that can be original, that's keen, that's just really wanting to get involved with what we do as an ethos, rather than just, oh, I've got a festival slot, I'm going to go and play and collect my money and then go and play the next one.
Yeah. No, like you say, you want to give us something a bit more special, a bit more ethos behind everything. Like, I'm going back to the sort of first couple of events when we were involved with, I was discovering new bands, and I've done exactly the same here. Looking at the lineup, there were certain bands that I knew about, like Suicide Notes and South of Salem, that I knew about, but honestly, I have started digging the South of Salem a bit more intently. Been announced for CC7, so it makes perfect sense to me that you're going to keep on that line and you're not going to go out the ordinary. Or go to the ordinary, I should say. It's
a formula that works for us. I mean, because we like to think that we're not like other festivals. You know, we're a bit more individual. We're very much singing to our own songbook, really. So, yeah, I don't know, Alec, what would you say?
I would say it helps if you're completely bonkers to start with.
Yeah, there is that.
Which Victoria is. I'm completely sane, so it's a yin and yang, really. But yeah, no.
You forget Alec, I know you.
Oh yes, I do. My personal choice. There's some bands playing this time around who I have known for quite some time, and there's some that I don't know at all because Victoria has discovered them or introduced them to me. So they're a complete unknown to me. But the bands I do know, I have had some spectacular laughs with in the past, which for me bodes well to us for a good seat of your pants, disastrous masterpiece, as somebody once described our things.
Best way to be, man. And you're back at Face Bar again, which is an awesome venue.
Oh yes, good old Face Bar. It's a great format for us because excuse me. There's two stages, two rooms very close together. and it takes what would you say, Lee? 12.5 seconds to get from one to the other.
If that.
Something like that. You've been there before, obviously.
Yeah.
And while one band is playing, the next band due on at the next stage is having their sound check in the other, and they get time for a decent sound check, and that's every band on an all-dayer, which is pretty rare. And so it's less stressful for the bands. And as an old pirate once told me, a stress-free day makes for a better gig. So I kind of think for that reason it works for us quite well.
I think so, man. Certainly from like being in the audience kind of point of view, you know, like you say, going back and forth between the two stages was great. Like, because you've got that ability and bands can have a decent sound check each. It just makes for a better sound for one thing. And there's nothing worse than all day when one band loses their sound because either, I don't know, sometimes it's band politics and someone's mucking around. I've been at some gigs that happens and that's just not on. But no, man, I'm looking forward to going back to Face Bar. I love it as a venue. Like I said, I love the fact that sometimes there's a lot of downtime in all days because you've got one stage and you're trying to turn it around. Solidly. Whereas obviously with Crazy Cowboy, you just go back and forth and it's solid all day, man. I can't wait.
You're basically, at the end of the day, you're completely fucked, and that's everybody. There is no downtime. Unless you escape upstairs to that big room where naughty things happen.
Yeah, there is a room, isn't there, upstage that they've nicknamed the backstage ballroom, where we're not supposed to disclose anything that happens up there. I mean, really, we're making it sound a lot more exciting than it is. It's just a place where we do interviews and where we keep the rider and where people go and, you know, leave their kit and chill out. But there may be one or two horror stories to come out of there. I don't know. If there is, I'll probably write about them and make articles out them and give them to various magazines, which is what I do.
Well, Ian at Gallus Circus was very honest about getting down to his pants in there and running around the last time I spoke to him. So we can talk about
But that was a bit weird, actually, because there's a tiny little fire exit in that big upstairs room where you can poke out and have a fag. And Ian, I was over there smoking out the back door like a naughty schoolboy, and he came up to me and he just stripped down to his pants, and I had no bloody clue what he was doing.
And what was he doing?
He would have sex.
Was there a reason, or?
Oh, he just went and jumped on At the Sun, who were having an interview at the time.
Yeah.
Right, of course.
Yes. Yes, Ian and his orange, or were they pink? Orangey pink pants.
Yeah, I thought they were pink, but other people told me they were orange. They seemed to look pink as he ran past me.
You'll have to pay more attention next time.
I should really. I should have took a photo. So I'll ask him when they play Just Push Play. So
yeah, see if he has the same pair.
Yeah. I hope he's changed or washed himself. So
Ian hasn't changed at all, although I have it on good authority that his head is quite different now.
His head is more similar to mine now than it was.
Yeah, a charity thing.
Yeah,
he's got rid of his dreads, hasn't he?
Yeah. So going back to the CC7 though, the lineup that you've got, obviously Victoria Alec was saying that, you know, you discovered a lot of the bands that you were getting excited by. I love discovering new bands. It's the whole reason I do my radio show. But where did you know, who was your discoveries that sort of came to mind first? And was it just a case of scouring online, or did you catch them supporting anyone? Or?
Well, all sorts of ways. That's a really, really good question. I was actually thinking about this today. I mean, as I say, I went into this blind. I've never had anything to do with music promotions or festivals or anything like that before. I just listened to this kind of music since I was a teenager. My background's in writing, really, and doing interviews and magazine features with rock bands. So Alex said to me, oh God, last summer, I think it was, do you want to help choose the bands for the festival? And I said, well, yeah, I'd absolutely love to, but how would you go about choosing bands for a festival? You know, I mean, you keep saying to me that there are no rules and, you know, there's no guidelines to follow and it can be whoever you want, but there's got to be some kind of format to it, you know, some kind of way of knowing who's going to go down well and, you know, who's going to flop and who. But there wasn't, essentially. He basically just gave me free rein and said, go for it. So I spent about 3 days on YouTube and Instagram going through band after band after band, trying to see if somebody jumped out at me. And one band actually did, which was South of Salem, who I'd never listened to before. And after going through, as I say, 3 days worth of different songs by different bands and hearing a lot of good music, but a lot of similar music as well, I just caught them and I thought, yeah, they are the absolute band that I want. I'm having them. No matter what.
They're a great band. Like I'd heard the name floating about South of Salem, and some other people saying I need to check them out, but I hadn't really listened to them too much. I think I might have heard one song, but it wasn't until you guys announced them for CC7, and I thought that was the first name other than Suicide Notes and City Kids, who I knew anyway. That kind of jumped out because it was a name I'd heard on the grapevine, and I started delving back into South Salem, and they're great. I love the fact that they're off the wall. I love the fact they've gone, you know, very big, like, you know, new wave of progressive rock scene and all that kind of stuff, which there's a lot of bands that get tagged in that I know who hate being tagged with it. And there's a lot of bands, like I said, there's a lot of similar sounding bands, and there's a lot of blues rock, a lot of hard rock, which I love, don't get me wrong. That's where my heart is, but I also love a lot of other stuff, including goth. So to have them with us as the real gothic horror side of things, I think they're great.
Yeah,
really
I love that about them. Absolutely loved it. Yeah. And I think they're going to do really, really well this year. You know, I know they've got a big tour that we're in the middle of, and they're getting a lot of attention, and I can just see them going a long way. And I think I'm going to look back in a year or so's time and go, yeah, I was one of the people that booked them on that tour, and be really chuffed with myself.
You know what? There's been one or two bands, you know, within the ilk of what we collectively, all three of us know. We know the bands well. They've played on our events, Lee, and they've done really well. And they've got record label backing, and they've pushed on and they've pushed on. The pandemic has probably held them back, unfortunately, a little bit, but now they're pushing on again. And you know that they're at the top of a field of what I see as a fairly all-inclusive, slightly restricted audience. I think they've done really well, and they'll go on to greater things. But compared to them, I think South of Salem, relatively speaking, have all the world at their feet. I think they're a much bigger prospect than any of those bands. So yeah, same as Victoria. I'm really excited they're coming, and I think, just like she says, we'll hopefully look back in a year or two and be able to say, wow, look at them now. I really do think they could explode.
I really do believe that.
I think that's it. I mean, that's exactly. I mean, I've not seen them live yet, which for me is normally where I get you. You can sense it on hearing the studio stuff. But when you see a band live, for me, that's where I always sense of, fuck me, this is, you know, these guys have got that X factor that we were talking about.
Yeah. We couldn't do that because we were in lockdown when we were trying to decide all this. So usually that's what we would have done. We'd have scouted out bands and caught a gig, and then, you know, done our research that way. But we didn't have that option, so we had to, you know, really think about. You kind of have to imagine what these people are going to sound like live, rather than just thinking, oh, they sound really good coming through my headphones. We've got to kind of look at how they interact with each other. If there's any live footage on YouTube or something you can find of how they are on stage, and kind of look at the whole thing as a performance, rather than just as, oh, they do some good music, I like them, I'll buy their CD. It's who's going to win a crowd over, it's who's going to generate that atmosphere and you know, make the whole place blow up.
We've all been to festivals and caught an act who, you know, I've done it from all the way from sort of more grassroots festivals all the way to something like Download, where I've wandered in somewhere, I caught someone I didn't know, and they've ended up being a highlight of the whole weekend or whatever. So yeah, you know, it's completely a live feel. And I think I'll go back to what you were saying about there being no rules. Totally agree with that. I don't think there are any rules. I think if you follow a formula, you're destined to fail because you're trying too hard.
Yeah, and everyone else is following the same one.
Exactly, and
what's going to make people take you?
Yeah, with like when my festival Just Push Play, I've always gone on my gut instinct and who really gets me fired up, and I've always maintained that with the, you know, reasons for it being like in tribute to my dad who I lost to cancer and stuff. If a band doesn't get me fucking excited, then they don't get on the bill. There's plenty of really solid good bands out there, and there's plenty of bands that I've had offer wanting to play, and it's no disrespect to anyone, but that other people have gone, oh, you really need to get these guys, and I just don't get them. And it's not a personal attack on anyone, but I would be like it with any festival, but with it being for the hospice and in memory of my dad, it's got to be someone I'm fucking passionate about. It's got to be someone like you guys are saying. It's got to be someone that gets you excited. And I think you guys are exactly bang on there. There's nothing more exciting than when you find a band, not for an ego reason, but just for new bands that are exciting. You know, we can all agree that headliners are download, they're all great at what they do. There's no just, you know, you can't dispute that. But equally, when you find a band and an unhidden gem, that is really cranking you out, it's going to be it. And that's what I'm really looking forward to about this show.
Yeah, well, I saw Liberty Slaves at HRH. Actually, I've told you a lie. I did actually see one band on the lineup live prior to the festival, and they did exactly that for me. I just saw them, and they were such good fun. And there wasn't very many people watching them. You know, they weren't one of the big bands on, but they absolutely owned that little room that they were in. And I stood there like with my jaw on the floor for about half an hour just watching them having so much fun. And I rang Alec up straight away and I said, I found our opening band for CC7. It turns out they're actually not going to open now. But the reason that I wanted them for the openers is just because they went off with such a bang. You just couldn't help but get excited.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want.
Straight away, I found them afterwards and said, you know, here's my phone number. I'm going to be hitting you up for a show.
Brilliant.
It was that quick. So you just know, don't you?
You've got to go instinct, isn't it?
There was no one on that lineup that we had to sit down and discuss in terms of, do you think they'll be okay? You know, shall we go for them? Shall we not? Are we sure? It was like absolutely yes or absolutely no.
And that's when you know you got a good lineup, when you're feeling that passionately about it.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah, it's the kind of lineup that's going to suit the people that are going to come, because Crazy Cowboy have got a very kind of loyal fan base, I think, of people that have come year after year, that know what the festivals are about. They know what Alec's about. They know what the whole kind of culture of Crazy Cowboy music and events are about. And they come year after year, and I don't think they come because they think, oh, it's another Crazy Cowboy festival. It's going to be, you know, all the usual bands, all the ones that we love. They come because they want to see what we're going to do next.
Yeah,
they're brilliant. They're a brilliant. They are. They're a
brilliant crowd.
They all turn up.
We can keep people's interest that way by bringing in these new bands that people will think, oh, last time I went, well, there was A, B, and C bands that I love anyway, but also there was this amazing new bunch. And I mean, if we keep doing that, people are going to keep coming back for more.
Definitely. That's what I was
saying. They all turn up to start, and they drink, well, at least 91% of them drink like fish, as you may have noticed, Lee. But they're there the whole way through, and it's all for one and one for all, which is what I love about it.
Yeah, there's a real camaraderie, isn't there?
There's no egos. To be honest, it doesn't really matter when you play in that lineup. And to be honest, you're probably better off playing in the first half of it, because people are less drunk. But that's what I like about it, and that's what we always did with Cowboy gigs in the past. The whole lineup was always important, and I was generally the most excited about the first band, and quite passionate about. I used to get quite pissed off with people if they turned up just for the headliners, and I'd probably make it quite clear. Yeah. And then they probably never come again, but others would.
Well, that's one of the good things about it, isn't it? I mean, we've messed around the running order loads because we've got different bands coming from different parts of the country, and some people have got a lot of travel, and some people have got commitments the day before or the day after. So we've redone it so many times. But like Alex says, it really doesn't matter what position you're in, because people are going to come in at the beginning and they're going to leave at the end. Everybody's going to get seen. And I think that's another thing that makes it unique. You know, people come to see all the bands, not just a handful of them that they think they might like.
This is it, and that's what you want in an all day. That's what I want as a fan. I mean, if you're paying for a ticket anyway, I'll never understand why you wouldn't turn up for the first band and have a full day and enjoy it. Like Alec was saying, any previous events I've been to, it's been pretty rammed from early doors, which is great. And, you know, what I've also liked about it is you're watching one band set, and a band who maybe later on in the evening are still there watching whoever you're watching. Everyone's watching each other, and everyone is supporting each other. Like Alec was saying, there's no ego, there's no bullshit. It's
No.
politics. It's just people being there for music for fucking right reasons, you know.
And all the musicians stay as well.
Yeah.
You know, so people will go on, they'll do their set and they'll finish up and do a bit of media or whatever upstairs and then come down and just stay for the party. So
should be the case. The last time I went to Just Push Play, Victoria.
yes.
Well, I don't even know about Just Push Play Festival. This is Lee's Festival. Yes, you do know about that, don't you?
I do.
And I didn't go last year because I was basically mad. But the last time I went, I indeed came at the start.
You did.
Because the bar was open at the start, so it kind of made sense. And it was a joyful occasion. 3 of my favourite bands at the time played in a row, which was quite unbelievable. The later bands were very, very good. Unfortunately, I managed to persuade the venue bar staff to serve me triple whiskies.
Did.
So I can't remember the headliners at all. I
That
also
wasn't
can't
going to end
remember
well.
how I got to that hotel near that long road before you turn into Bury St Edmunds. I have no recollection. I have no idea how I ended up in there. But it was a great day. And we shall go again this year, Victoria.
Absolutely.
He's got a headliner with a swear word in the title who's very famous.
Very, very rude.
Very rude name in his band name title.
Okay.
Phil Campbell.
Oh, that rude name. Yeah.
Naughty boy.
Mucky pup.
You don't hear me swearing.
No.
Never. Never.
Yeah. Moving on.
But yes, I'd just like to congratulate you, Lee, on Just Push Play over the years. Jolly well done, and onwards and upwards. And I'm sure you'll sell 8 million more tickets than we will.
I'm really looking forward to
I look
coming.
forward to it.
I'm sure you guys did. How is ticket sales? Because obviously, like at the minute, ticket sales for people buying stuff in advance is horrendous as a rule.
Yeah, I've kind of given up on. I don't even. For me personally, I don't even particularly push for advanced sales.
No.
For me, I mean, there hasn't been a Crazy Cowboy event for 2 years by the time this thing comes on, because we tried some last year and they all went down the pan because the pandemic, this, that, and the other. It was all pandemic related, and it's certainly very different than it was 2 years ago. But it's understandable. You know, people have lost a lot of money. They've got completely confused with their rolled over tickets. You can't really expect people to advance purchase en masse now. In fact, I don't either. I tend to do it on the day. So I think just buying habits have changed, and I'm not worried in the least. We'll have a good event. We'll have a decent turnout. Nothing will come easy. You know, if you want to get a bit nervous about it and worry as each day goes by and think, oh, I haven't sold another 20 tickets today, you can, but there's no point.
No.
It'll be all right.
It's not going to change anything.
But you know, you just can't expect people just to commit now, because they've had so much crap over the last 2 years. It's better just to live your life for today, really, I think.
I think you're right there, mate. I think you're absolutely bang on. What's going to happen is going to happen. When you're as excited as the lineup is, you know you've got a good lineup. You know people are going to come to. You've got your loyal fan base. People, like you say, because of what everything's gone on the last couple of years, may very well wait till the last minute to get a ticket, but that doesn't mean people are abandoning anything.
Yeah.
Just like you say, buying habits have changed.
True.
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic hit the whole world hard. It wasn't just the music industry. You kind of read stuff and think, you know, the arts business was hit the most. Well, no, it hit everything, didn't it? Let's face it. So you know, we've all been battered around the head with a baseball bat, and we're still generally as a species getting back on our feet again. And things like this are a good thing. Because,
Musicians have been
this time last year they wouldn't have happened. Now they are going to happen, and it's basically like David Essex in War of the Worlds. A brave new world. I've made a start. Come and have a look.
That might be the first David Essex reference I've ever had in an interview, Alex. So well done.
There's always a first for
David
something
Essex.
when Alex around.
Oh yeah.
He's gypsy.
I think musicians have been really resilient through all this. I mean, I've done a lot of interviews with bands who have been pretty much decimated by the pandemic, but have contacted me to tell me stories about what they've done with that time and how they've come on and how they've developed as a band. And there's very few, we talk to a lot of bands, don't we? And there's very, very few that have given it up, you know, have just decided, oh, it's too much, you know, we've had 2 years of it and we're just not going to do it anymore. It's only a handful. You know, people have really stuck to their guns, and I think, yeah, as I say, they've been really resilient. One of the bands that we've got on, that I wanted to put, well, I insisted on putting on really, is Ransom, who originally are a covers band, and they can basically play anything by anyone. And they went from, I think, doing 90 odd gigs a year, something like that, down to nothing. Wow. Absolutely nothing, because all the pubs shut and all the bookings got cancelled. And that was their, you know, a huge chunk of their livelihood just gone. So because they couldn't perform, they decided to sit down and write their own material for the first time ever. And they've been around for years. And they would never have done that if they hadn't have been forced into that situation. And the new material is absolutely phenomenal.
I was going to say, because they've sent me singles for the radio show Ransom, and I had no idea they were a covers band prior to this.
You'd never know, would you? Yeah. But every one of them is so talented. And I'm not saying that, you know, I think it's a stroke of luck or anything, because obviously we all wish the pandemic had never happened. But, you know, there are occasionally good things to come out of it. And that is definitely one of them. And I'm just really proud that we're the ones that are giving them the chance to showcase that material, because that performance that they're doing with us, it's going to be the first time they've played those songs to a live audience.
Oh, wow.
So we're really, really excited about that.
That's great. Yeah, I literally had no idea that they were a covers band at one point. I just, yeah, got sent the singles to the radio show. I've been enjoying them on the radio show, but I didn't realize they were being a covers band for so long.
Yeah, I mean, they still do. They still play, and they've got regular haunts that they do weekend shows at. Yeah. I don't really know too much about that side of them, but I know that what they're thinking of as the way forward is to promote their own material now and go forward as an originals band. And again, I think that's another band that we'll sit back in a year or so's time and go, yeah, we put them on first. We spotted a good one.
Well, they definitely should, because the new material is solid as anything. The original stuff that I've been getting, great.
Very, very talented guys there.
We have this, well, obviously everyone does this now, Lee, I'm sure you do as well, but we have a chat group with all the acts on it,
yeah,
for the impending 13 Shades of Black. And I'm looking forward to meeting Matt, I think, who's the main man. I think we're going to get on very well. He's a very lively chap.
Yes.
He makes me laugh a lot with his comments. Well, I will say the chat is extremely sensible. There's never any nonsense on there. It never degenerates into
what chat are you reading?
Although occasionally Victoria comes in and
it's not the same one as me.
Mucks about all the time. But yes.
Yeah, everyone's going to believe that.
Matt, yeah, I think I'm going to like Matt a lot. I'm not going to marry him, but I think we're going to get on famously.
No, I think he already has a wife, so you might be out of luck there.
I don't want to marry Matt.
It's a no.
That would be just ridiculous.
Almost as conversation's never going astray, Alec.
Talking of hidden gems, etc. I really think, Victoria, I'm going to forget half of them because I'm rubbish with my memory, but we should mention all the bands who are playing. And one I'd like to mention in particular, when it comes to, you know, going to a lineup and coming away thinking, wow, I'd never come across that band before, and I'm going to dig them out and have an exciting journey listening to them and finding out what they've done in the past. I have a feeling, I've known this guy for about 5 years, and I've had him supporting people like the Crybabies and things like that, with his previous band Role Models. But Rich Fragany and the Digressions, I think, are going to blow a lot of people away and take them by surprise. And I don't see them on any lineups within the social media groups that you and we have in common. But yeah, Rich Raggany and the Digressions, one to look out for. He's actually Rags. Everybody knows him as Rags, and he actually knows all the old pirates. It's just that some people don't realise it. But I think that's one to look out for.
Okay, so I'll be honest, he's not one I've checked out yet, Alex. So he's on the list. I'm just slowly going through the lineup of bands I haven't sort of checked out yet, and he's on there that I've not checked out yet. So
his old band, the Role Models. I think I first saw them play at the 100 Club in London.
Oh yeah,
and they were supporting Scott Sorry, ex-Wild Hearts.
Scott Sorry and the Sinatras.
Yeah, before he got ill, and it was just a phenomenal gig. And they had a pledge campaign out at the time. You know that? Well, you remember pledge music and all that before it went to shit. And I impulsively got involved with that and bought a gig for a fairly ludicrous amount of money, and then used it about 3 years later. Didn't rush too much, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
Sometimes it just is, man. So like sometimes it goes back to the gut instinct thing that we were talking about earlier. Sometimes you just know.
Yeah. Who would you like to mention next, Victoria? Who's playing at the event? I'm amazed you haven't mentioned your Welsh friends yet.
Well, I can mention them
with a massive beard.
I was going to talk about Verity actually, but no, we'll do Perla.
Well, she did have a beard the other day on a.
Verity hasn't got a massive beard.
Verity hasn't got a massive
beard on Monday. She did an online thing with a beard.
Did she?
Yeah, she swapped with her husband.
Oh, good Lord.
I did see that photo. Yeah, she dressed up as him and he dressed up as her, didn't they?
Yeah, they're a bit of a one-off, that pair. You never meet anybody quite like them. But yeah, Perla. Perla are a stoner glam.
I'd go with that.
Yeah, that's what they tell me anyway. I just think they're awesome. They are extremely polished. You wouldn't think so to look at them. They look like a bunch of Welsh stallies, which essentially they are. But they're from my homeland, so I can get away with saying that.
You can say that, me or Alec couldn't.
No, only me.
He looks like a big guy. I'm not saying anything.
No, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, he'll have you around the head with a scaffolding pole or something. There's 4 of them. They've all known each other since they were kids. They have all played in bands since they were kids, in and out of each other's bands all the time, varying degrees of success. They're basically 4 seasoned professionals who are doing this because they love it, for the love of it, nothing more and nothing less. Apart from the fact that their kind of music is probably my preferred kind to listen to anyway. I love them as people. I love the fact that there's no airs and graces about them. They're very, very honest, very straight down the line. You know, you ring them up and you say, do you want to come and play? When, where? It's either, yeah, all right, or no, we can't. There's no, well, you know, you have to go through our agent, and then we've got a booking agent, and then, you know, the management company's got to be kept happy, and, you know, we need to talk about travel and provisions. They're like, yep, we'll do it, or no, we're not doing it. That's it. Which is a bit of a Welsh thing, I think. There's no fucking about. You say what you mean, and that's it. But Perla actually played at Bloodstock, I want to say.
Yeah, that's how I heard the name floating around. And then my mate of mine was at Bloodstock and caught him in the smaller stage. In the tent.
They went down an absolute storm there.
My mate said that their set was absolutely insane. He was one of the who came back from Bloodstock and said to me, "Oh mate, you need to check these out and you should be playing them on your show," because I'd heard the name floating about, but I hadn't checked them out before then.
I mean, they how can I put it? They make it look easy. And their music is very, very technical. You know, there's really complicated guitar solos and technical drumming in it, but they make it sound as if they're doing it in their sleep. You know, they're that laid back and that good at what they do. They just shrug it off. Makes you sick, really.
Yeah, but Victoria, let's be fair. You're a pretty good drummer as well, aren't you?
No.
and in fact, you have a connection with another band at the festival, haven't you?
Yes, you have. You have got another.
And I think the Lee Graham Rock Show and the YouTube channels need to know all about this, just in case they don't know it already.
They have,
You're-
because I've mentioned it on the radio show before, the new video from the Gypsy Pistoleros.
Happy by Jove.
Well, people are suffering under the misapprehension that I was actually playing those drums, and I wasn't, because I can't play the drums to save my life. I said,
Don't spoil the illusion.
well, I can't. My face tells a story. I'm a rubbish liar, and if I tried to pretend that I actually did it, I'd just burst out laughing. Everyone would guess anyway.
Lee, I can lie on our behalf, so here we go.
Go
I
on,
can
then.
confirm that Victoria played the drums on the Gypsy Pistoleros Christmas single. I'm looking you in the eyes. It was Victoria.
You're half blind. No, that was fantastic. It was lovely to be asked to do it. Lee, the frontman of the Pistoleros, has become a very, very good pal of mine, even though I've not known him very long. I reviewed a single for them, and then that led to other things, and we did a bit of work together on a few different things. And he was looking for volunteers to go and be in the video. Didn't really know what we were going to be doing until we got there. And to this day, I don't really know why he picked me, but he picked me to be one of them. We spent half a day in a recording studio with a lovely photographer and a lovely cameraman and a lovely director, nice team of people. We had a wonderful makeup artist who did us all up like the Day of the Dead girls. And then he gave each of us an instrument to play in front of a green screen and said, right, now you go and be the band. So you get to be on the lead guitar, you get to be on the bass, you get to be on the acoustic. And I was last, and they said, oh, you'll have to do the drums then, won't you? And I was like, oh, Auntie, can I have a drum kit for Christmas, please? I absolutely loved it. Thoroughly enjoyed that day. And the single did pretty well.
Yeah, it was a great cover.
Yeah, it got a lot of airplay. Spotify messed it up for them a bit. I'm not really sure of the ins and outs of that, but yeah, they did good. They did good. And as an indirect result of that, we managed to get them to headline the festival for us.
Brilliant.
I will be reprising my role as the second drummer.
I was going to say, are you going to get up?
Set, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, we are in talks about it, me and Lee, about a guest appearance. But I don't know, it depends how drunk I am at the end. I might have had a few gin and tonics by then.
But that's fine. All drummers are pissed anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, at least I'll be sitting down.
There you
There's
go.
less risk of falling over.
Drunk? I don't even know what it means.
Well,
No, we've never been drunk together, have we, Alec?
No.
No.
Well, that's one of the little surprises that we've been dropping sort of biggish hints about as the months have gone by. Little bits that we're thinking of adding in that people perhaps won't be expecting, although I've totally given that one away. But
That looks like it was a really good fun video to record, though.
Yeah, it was. It was a laugh. Honestly, it was. You get a good. It's one of the only things you can do where you can walk into a room full of people that you've never met before, and you come out and you've all really bonded.
Yeah.
None of you have really done it before anyway, and you're all falling over and you're all doing it wrong and you're all giggling and nobody's really taking it that seriously. Well, not that day anyway. But yeah, it comes out brilliant.
That's
It was
awesome.
absolutely fabulous.
Yeah,
Absolutely
it was a lovely opportunity to do it. I'm very proud of the way it came out.
That's great. One band I wanted to mention, because it's a band I'm excited to see again, is the Suicide Notes. I'm really looking forward.
Yes. I'll tell you what, Lee, they are my favourite band at the moment. There's quite a few favourite bands, you know, just a notch behind them, but me personally, they just embody everything I love about rock and roll. Billy T, the front man, I've known him for quite a few years anyway. From
I was trying to think the other day, what was the band that he was in before that played Symphony?
the Black Bullets.
That was it. I was trying to think of their name the other day.
Great band and local to me. So yeah, put them on loads of times with the likes of Warrior Soul and Love Jizzy Pearl, Stroke Love Hate, all sorts. There's a lot of very good bands in this area who have all played in each other's bands as well. It's quite incestuous over the years, going back 20 years. So the likes of the Bullets, now the Suicide Notes, Stevie Pearce and his Hooligans, Small Town Saviors, No Good Sons. There's a lot of bands who have connected over the years and will probably end up connecting again in the future. But yeah, Billy is he gets on that stage and he just becomes someone else.
Yeah,
and you can't take your eyes off him. He's just a natural
natural
wild rock and roll front man. He's quite quiet off it, and is just the nicest guy you could talk to. He's a bit like me. He doesn't particularly like humans off stage and things like that. But you get him on there, it's probably a struggle to even get him on the stage. But like they said this in an interview the other day, he gets on the stage, he does his thing, he comes off, and then he says to the others, "That was right, actually, wasn't it?" And they are spectacularly entertaining, and it's the whole band. The whole band. It's just the Bullet split up. Billy started talking to Alex. Do you want to write some songs?
Yeah.
The rest of the band came together. You got Danny on the bass and Danny addition on guitar, and then you got Gavin on the drums, who will probably just get up in the middle of the set and kiss Billy on the cheek, or maybe go and get a pint. I don't know, but it's proper unplanned rock and roll, and it just works, and it's brilliant.
Oh, I really like all the material they've been getting the last year or so, man. I've been getting sent a lot of stuff for the radio show.
Yeah.
I was aware of Billy from the Bullets anyway, but tracks like the stuff they've been recently last. I mean, I haven't managed to grab a physical copy of the Tramp Stamp EP yet, so I'm hoping to grab that when I come down to Crazy Cowboy. So
I've ordered mine, but I can't remember which house I sent it to. It could have been one of about 6, and I haven't located it yet, but I did pay for it. But their new version of Dead Flowers, the old Stone song's just great. Brilliant
rendition, isn't it? That really like that one.
They first sang that at Fat Lil's in Whitney. The second time they played at Fat Lil's. Great venue.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not about an hour away from Reading. And they were on tour with the City Kids. And just before that gig, Daryl Barth had passed away, sadly. Daryl Barth, ex-Crybabies, Dogs the Moor.
Yeah.
Billy's a big fan of them. So they covered that kind of in tribute to Daryl, because Daryl was a big Stones, Small Faces kind of background of a musician. And it was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And then when they came out with the release details of this new EP, and they were doing a studio recording of it, I was made up.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. I didn't realize the background to it. I'd heard the cover, but I didn't realize they'd done in tribute to Daryl. That's really nice. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a copy of that EP, because I was really liking that, and I was like is it Snake Grin Within?
Yeah,
that track I was like, I've been spinning that a lot on the radio show. And
well, the video's just come out, hasn't it? It's,
oh, is it? I didn't realize the video.
Oh yeah, it just came out last night, I think. There's a lot of snakes involved, real snakes, quite close to Billy's mouth. But he has no problem with unusual animals, because he has a pet called Fu Manchu, don't you know? It morphed last night.
Praying mantis, is it?
Oh yes, it's praying mantis.
Lovely bright green thing.
I think she's a girl, actually.
Oh.
You know what people like with their pets if you get the sex wrong. Have I got that right? Fuck. Well, beautiful. But it morphed last night, shed some skin and grew some wings.
Oh, wow. I didn't realise he had, I don't know Billy very well at all, to be honest, but I didn't realise he had a praying mantis. That's pretty cool. Oh, yeah.
He's very proud of his praying mantis, don't you know?
There's lots of updates on Facebook about Fu Manchu, if you ever want to follow him.
I think I have to do that.
Regularly makes an appearance.
I'll tag you. I'll tag you in the daily updates of Fu. Don't you worry.
You mentioned the City Kids there as well. I'm looking forward to their set. I've seen them a few times. They're always bringing it live.
Yeah. They have. How would you describe their portfolio of experience? Well, there's a lot of it.
There's a lot of it. It's a very rich tapestry, that's for sure, isn't it?
I've actually had a really, really nice day because of the City Kids today.
All right.
So I've been finishing up their EP review.
Oh, cool.
And I didn't realise until I actually sat down and listened to it properly and got my head into it. I've been doing bits and bobs of it over the last couple of weeks. And it's 4 Motorhead covers that they've done. And
nice.
so I got to spend quite a fair amount of the day, where I probably should have been concentrating on work, looking for Lemmy quotes on the internet, of which there are millions, and they're all so good. So thank you very much, City Kids, for giving me such a lovely day today. That man was, I mean, he should have been a religious icon or something. The way he saw the world was just...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so yeah, I've had a lovely day.
Well, there was no hairs and graces with Lemmy, was there? There was no.
Oh, absolutely not. Honest as the day's long.
Oh, good, yeah.
Says it like it is. But yeah, the EP is amazing. The review I should hopefully have finished by in the next couple of days. So I would recommend anyone get a copy of that.
So what Motorhead songs have they covered on the EP then?
It is, the first one is City Kids.
Yeah.
The second one is, I'm going to have to look it up.
So I thought City Kids would be one of them for obvious reasons.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I get sent so many mixed up. I might have to get...
They did do Killed by Death previously, with a few guest stars, including Stevie Pierce, and that was, it was so good. So good. But I'm assuming that's not on this EP because they've already...
It's City Kids is the first track. Then they've done Bomber with Dennis Post on lead vocals. They've done Please Don't Touch and Born to Raise Hell, again with Dennis on lead vocals. With lots of different, I was going to say celebrity guests then, if you can call them that.
Yeah.
Lots of different chums that they've drafted in to add a bit of colour to the EP. So, yeah, it's really something special.
JJ knows everybody.
Yeah, well,
so you can just pull them in at a click of a finger.
Brought in the class of 2022 for this effort.
Nice. After that, I'm looking for. When's that coming out, Victoria?
Is
it out already?
No, I don't think so. I think it's coming out in the next couple of days because I need. 28th of February. There we are.
Oh, cool. I've got JJ on Facebook. We chat occasionally. I have to hook him up for an interview for the radio show on that one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Get a push on to get it finished.
The City Kids band, we've got JJ on the bass. On the bass, what I'm talking about, on guitar and vocals. And he's ex-Main Grains in particular, which is how I met him.
I love the Main Grains.
Oh man, they were just
Everyone's
brilliant.
got a soft spot for them, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were fabulous. We did a lot together and had lots of great memories with the whole of the Main Grains, including Danny McCormack, of course, but also JJ and his missus Lindsay. And then you got Dennis Post on guitar. He's also in Warrior Soul and all sorts of other bands in the past. You got.
I didn't realise he was playing with Warrior Soul these days.
Pardon?
I didn't realise he was playing with Warrior Soul.
Oh God, yeah, he's the perfect fit for Corey Clark.
Yeah, he is.
Personality.
Made in heaven.
It's just a heavenly match.
I'll be honest, Warrior Soul were a band that the name floated around, and I was with my dad listening to them and stuff. And then Joe, me went to go. Where was it we saw Warrior Soul? Was it Stone Free or was it Stone? That gig we went to at the O2 that you won tickets for. Stone Free Festival. And they were playing. I was like, I've got to go watch these because I remembered them and no one else was really on. And they were hot. It was another thing where I'd heard the name, 1 or 2 tracks, went to go watch Warrior Soul and fell in love with them all over again.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in my early 20s, Lee, which was like 5 years ago. Early 20s.
Even I wasn't in my early 20s 5 years ago, mate. Wait.
Yeah. My favourite bands. When I started doing the cowboy stuff, I decided, well, this has just got to be a laugh. So I'm just going to aim to do stuff with those ones I enjoyed the most when I was a youngster. You know, out of the older bands. And Warrior Soul were one of them. Love Hate was another. Dogs Demur was another. Bernie Tormé, the guitarist with Gillan, was another. Did all of those. Put a full tour on for Warrior Soul at one point. Did another tour. Corey Clark stayed around my house one night. He's supposed to be the most badass motherfucker rock and roll star on the planet. In fact, to be honest, he pretty much is. But I will tell you that I once caught him at 2:45 in the morning doing the washing up in my kitchen.
Oh, well, his mummy obviously raised him well.
He was obviously a very considerate guest.
Yeah.
To be fair, he never really went to bed. I'm not quite sure why that was. It could have been drug induced. But half an hour after that,
I'd imagine knowing Corey.
Half an hour after that, the washing up, Lee, he was going up to all the musicians who were flat out all over the house, shining a little torch into their eyes. I think to see if they were alive. So at that point, I felt like normality was restored.
It's nice to know that, you know, he did the washing up and then checked to see if anyone was dead.
Yes.
That's the correct order.
Yeah. Now, Corey Clark's a legend.
Oh, man.
And great band. And yeah, Bertie Burton, who's on bass for City Kids. He's well known for his work with Tiger Tails. He's also played with Last Great Dreamers, although our paths never met at that point because I did some stuff with the Dreamers years ago. And then you got Dave Sanders on the bass. I'm going mad on drums, sorry.
Drums.
And he used to play for Falling Red, and he's done stints with Stevie Pierce and the Hooligans, and he's got mental eye makeup. So that's the City Kids band, and they're very good, and they sing about rats and stuff.
They do. Great band. I'm really looking forward to seeing them again. It's been a little while since I've seen the City Kids, so I'm looking forward to that. You just mentioned Stevie Pierce and the Hooligans there. Can't wait for their set. Stevie's someone I got to know more from doing radio show more than anything. I knew his music, obviously, but got to know him sort of DJ to DJ a little bit. And I'm looking forward to his set, man, because he's just a phenomenal writer.
Yeah, we're really lucky to have him. We do. And he's not planning on doing very many shows this year, is he? Oh, so we're really lucky to have him, you know, as one of the few shows that he is going to do. Alec and I did a really long interview with him last year that was supposed to be 20 minutes and ended up being like an hour and 40 minutes that I then had to
this one,
down make a feature out of. But talking to him was just like talking to your best mate, you know, that you hadn't caught up with in a while. He's so easy to get along with, and he's very humble. He doesn't take anything for granted. He's done some amazing things with some amazing people, but he takes his stride. His feet are always on the ground, and he's somebody that I really do think a lot of. I like the way he looks at things.
He also has this incredibly annoying ability to make me laugh so much that if I'm not wheezing, I'm blowing off. He's a very funny guy, and I love it.
Don't stand downwind of Alec when he's talking to Stevie.
No, I remember. Be careful of where I'm stood next to you, mate.
Stand behind Stevie.
One day I'll make him tell you that story of the hotel, which he now says is a story that can never be told.
It's a very unique superpower to be able to make you fart. I'm not sure when that comes into play.
We were driving up to Coventry, I think, for a Hooligans gig, or maybe it was Huddersfield. I don't know, can't remember. In Ben 10, which is a famous van, but it's almost at the end of its life now, and it's got no seats anymore either. I took them all out, and I'm pretty sure he was telling me the story in a way that only he can tell it, and I'm pretty sure I nearly veered off the motorway near Gaydon.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to this. I can't remember last time I saw Stevie live actually either. So, like I say, this whole lineup's full of either bands I've not seen for a very long time, which is great, or bands like I say I'm discovering. So that's even better.
That's what we wanted. You know, the old favourites and some good newcomers that we can get behind, give a bit of a push forward, and send people out happier than when they came in.
I think you
10 Sheds is another one, Lee, which you may not have come across.
No, the one I haven't come across, mate. No.
Yeah, the main man is Matt Millership. He's a phenomenal piano and keyboard player and singer as well, and he's very, very highly thought of in all sorts of fields, but not in any of these ones which you and I have bumped into each other at scene wise. All sorts of other ones. He supports the most brilliant artists in the country in completely different eras you can imagine. People like Beans on Toast, Jim Jones. He's in Jim Jones and the Righteous Mind. That's another band he's in. He just tours all over the place. It's a two-man band, and when he plays and sings, he does something with his eyes which transfix you, because you think he's basically sort of dead, because the white, you can only see the whites of his eyes.
I want to get Corey Clark to come round and check on him.
Yeah, it's a sort of day, the sort of day of the dead look, but he's incredibly talented. I'm really pleased he's coming. He's another one of those ones who are completely different from some of the other festivals that you and I have both been to over the last few years.
Well, that's why I always like Crazy Cowboy. Like when any previous ones I've been to, mate, I don't want to use the term curveball because it's all music and it's all good, but you've always played stuff that's like slightly off the wall. Like one of the biggest discoveries for me from a solo act, I was aware of him as an artist and seen him play with Dogs and More, but until I went to watch his set at Crazy Cowboy, I hadn't heard Matty James Cassidy's solo.
Oh yeah, Matty's amazing.
I love Matty. He's brilliant. One of the best songwriters going, and that was through Crazy Cowboy that I discovered his solo work. I was aware of him obviously like through going to see Dogs and More and stuff, but not had seen him as a solo artist, and that was the sole reason I went to go watch his set, was because, well, I was there anyway and I would watch everyone the whole day, but one I wanted to really check out was because I'm a huge Dogs and More fan, and I was like, oh brilliant, Matty's doing a solo show, it should be cool. And then he came out with that, and then bought Old Souls when that came out. Fucking great album.
Yeah,
he's got all the Irish charm, hasn't he? He can whip an audience into a frenzy, make them laugh, make them interact.
He is. He's a very entertaining guy.
He is.
Yeah, he's very good. He's also very tall.
Massive. I remember chatting to him afterwards. I was still there chatting to him and Brett, the saxophone player.
Yeah.
And next to Matty, I felt like a midget, and I'm not a small bloke.
Most people do.
It's been a while since I've spoken to someone like that. But he's an absolute diamond.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. I think the last time we saw him was at a Spike doing Glossop, probably, wasn't it, Victoria?
It was, yeah.
One of Deggy's dudes.
Oh yeah. Deggy sent I think, was that the one with that? Deggy sent me a video of him and Matty in the back of a taxi.
Oh, Double the Trouble. No, I was in that van.
That's an old one, isn't it?
Driving.
Yeah.
We were on our way to Big Hands after. Well, you were in Manchester. It was the
when they did the album launch. Yeah, that's right. Because I spoke to Matty at the bar.
Yeah. We'd gone back to Arden's house to drop off some gear.
Yeah.
And pick up some other gear. No, that's a joke. Just drop off the shit and go to Big Hands for the rest of the week.
And did you stay the rest of the week?
Well, I wasn't really supposed to be even there because my head was broken at the time. But
I remember.
We definitely stayed there for the rest of the night. Yeah.
That was the night we swapped hats.
It was.
Oh, you don't do that with many people.
No, it was annoying actually, because Lee looked really good in my hat, and I looked like a complete dick in his.
So you just hate it when that happens.
Well, Victoria, it's a bit like the Blackpool night when you spent over 10 minutes with your makeup.
Oh, shut up.
I spent 1 second with mine. And
yeah, I'm not happy about that. Steals my eyeliner and then puts it on in 30 seconds when it's taken me about 20 minutes to get a straight line across my eye.
Well, it was the method. There's a method, Lee, which not many ladies know about this, but this is how you put eye makeup on, Lee. Just for your information, basically, you get the thing with a little paintbrush on it, and you do that on your eyelid, and then you completely fuck it up. You look in the mirror and think that's no good, and then you dip loads. At that point, you dip loads of the eye makeup out of the pot, and you splodge it on one eye, and you splodge it on the other, and then you get like that, and then you wash it off, and then you look like Alice Cooper, and then you get one wet wipe, and you go, and it's fine.
Didn't seem to work for me when I did that though. No.
Well,
Alec just must have the knack.
you know, the difference is makeup's basically not going to make any improvements to me whatsoever. I'm
Well, you
basically
can-
fucked.
you
Oh, there's
can
my glasses.
eyeliner
I was
next
looking for
time.
glasses. Anyway,
Oh,
which other bands haven't we mentioned about Crazy who are playing?
We
Cannot
Any off?
the Sonic Gypsy coming.
Oh yeah.
Mickey
Banks doing something very, very special.
Banks. Mickey Banks used to be in a
Are we
band
allowed
called
to say what he's doing, or are we not supposed to say?
what, the Scorpio Rising thing?
Well, you've said it now.
Well, he
Let's
may
hope we were.
maybe put Scorpio Rising under it, so I don't think it's a secret.
Oh, I don't think it's a secret then. No, he's going to do a couple of songs from the Scorpio Rising days
Oh, nice.
for any old fans of theirs, which I'm really looking forward to hearing too, because I haven't heard much of him in that incarnation. So, yeah.
For people's information, Scorpio Rising, it's a long time ago now. It was early 90s. Someone did a review the other day of his support slot with Guerrilla Art and Doomsday Outlaw in London. Really good review, actually. Adam Hextall is the guy. I think I've met him before. And he spoke about the history. But back in the early 90s, Scorpio Rising, Mickey's band, supported the likes of the Smashing Pumpkins
All right.
and bands of that ilk.
They
And he
big,
played
weren't
at Reading Festival in 92. I was there, but can't really remember much about Reading Festival in 92. But yeah, and Sonic Gypsy, I've been a fan of them for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I met him through Arjun and Good Riot, and he played CC1 actually, and he's great. Has his own radio show, a bit like you, Lee. Rock and roll goes through his veins, and he's really excited about getting out and playing again. And he's kind of like an immediate choice for any Crazy Cowboy festival. It's just they keep getting cancelled because of COVID. But this time it'll happen.
Even when we had to cancel the last one, he still said he was going to turn up and play anyway, didn't he?
Yeah.
We couldn't put him off. He said, well, I'm coming. I don't care if there's no festival, I'm coming anyway.
Brilliant.
He's great.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to meeting him. I chat to him a lot over Messenger, but I've never actually met him face to face. Although he did sail his canal boat up Manchester way once, and I would have gone and said hello, but I didn't get to do it in the end.
Fair play. Fair play. I mean, you guys just got to study that. It's going to be a great day. I can't wait. I don't think there's anything. We mentioned everyone, haven't we? We've gone through.
I fucking hope so. It's horrible when you forget one.
We haven't forgotten anyone. We didn't say very much about Verity, apart from that we hoped she wasn't going to bring a beard.
Oh, Circus 66. There another one. You
And
got.
Circus 66.
Oh,
coming,
thank
yeah.
God you mentioned it.
A late entry.
Yes, we love the Circus 66 boys and girls.
They were
Annabelle-
top of the list of one, really, of bands we'd lined up to fill in if anyone dropped out. And unfortunately, we lost someone. So we went to that list and there they were.
Yeah. Annabelle is the raunchy Russian rocker.
Oh, she's amazing. Again, a band I got into through Crazy Cowboy.
I've
Was
never
it?
heard anyone with a voice like Annabelle's.
That's why I like
It's
it.
brilliant.
I mean, she describes herself as noisy, but it's not noise. It's bloody loud, but it's
Powerful.
not noise. It's just incredibly
Powerful.
powerful. Yeah.
Really
Powerful.
powerful voice on her.
Yeah. You wouldn't expect it to come from her.
No, no.
She's
They're
an
another
incredible singer.
They're another band that got held up a bit by the pandemic. Because when I first met them, Matt, the guitarist, well, he founded the band, and Annabelle were core to it.
Yeah.
But then they had to switch around probably two and a third years ago, probably. And they brought in Luke on the bass and Lee on the drums. They immediately picked up a slightly funkier groove, and they just pushed on. And then the pandemic hit, and I think it was an annoying time for them. But they're so hungry to make things happen. They've released a brilliant album. Their
album was amazing.
For the Black Crow, and they're already in the midst of writing the next one. And they're just an excellent show to watch, full of full of energy and melody and songs and funk and groove. It's brilliant. Love them.
I mean, they pushed that album through, didn't they? Really against all the odds. To get it out right in the middle of the pandemic. They toured it. Dates got cancelled because people were getting sick or testing positive, and they still persevered. They did that big thing at KK's, didn't they, that you went to, Alec, to record the songs being played live. I mean, they're a hard-working band, in fairness.
Did a few dates with the Hooligans up in Scotland and everything.
Yeah.
You did, yeah. Forgot about the dates with Hooligans.
And I think they've been booked on to quite a few. I think they've picked up quite a few bookings for festivals for this year. Actually, I think I read earlier on they're on a Breaking Band stage.
Yeah, I think they're on the Breaking Bands. I think they're on Wildfire as well, maybe.
Yeah, and deservedly so.
Oh, good, yeah.
Deservedly so. They'll be all over. They'll be all over the UK before you know it. England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales.
Why'd you say it like that?
Don't know.
Why not? You ever been to Wales, Victoria?
Now and again.
Have you ever been to Swansea, Lee?
Swansea, no. No, the only time I've been to Wales was when I played rugby for my uni, and we played Cardiff Uni. And I remember...
You played rugby, did you?
Yeah, man. I played right up until I dislocated my knee pretty badly.
Let me guess your position. We probably had this conversation before, but I've forgotten. Let me guess your position. I don't really know if you used to be fast. So I'm going to rule out the backs. That may be unwise, but I'm going to go. I also don't know if you're really fit.
I was at the time.
Oh, so I'm going to go.
How many years ago are we talking?
Were you flanker?
10 years? No.
You weren't hooker, were you?
No.
In that case, I'm gonna say that I've got it completely wrong, and you played on the line.
I was prop.
Oh my God! Yeah, that kind of makes sense, actually.
Yeah, it was prop, mate. And I remember we won against Cardiff Uni, and
well done.
Me and the couple lads started drinking with the Cardiff boys. A few of our lads went home a lot earlier than the Cardiff lads did. We decided we had to stay to the end, and we nearly missed our coach back because we were still in someone's kitchen drinking when Steve mentioned that our coach left in 15 minutes. We were halfway away from the coach, so we had to sort of dash across Cardiff City with our coach very pissed off because he had to hold the coach up. And
I'd like to congratulate you on that performance, Lee. It's the sort of thing I like to hear about. Magnificent.
So I don't remember much about Cardiff when I was there. I remember I had a very good night, but I don't remember much about it. Other than lots of drink and possibly something else.
Well, I won't ask what that was.
I don't know what it was. I just remember being very inebriated.
Well, you shouldn't have been drinking, because as a professional sportsman at the time, you should have been thinking about the next match. Oh no, hang on a minute. We're talking about rugby here, aren't we?
Yeah, we're talking about uni rugby teams, mate. We either celebrated because we won, or you celebrated because you won, or you commiserated because you lost. It was one of the two.
Have we forgotten any bands, Victoria? Should we mention the ticket link?
We haven't forgotten any bands. I just wanted to say that Verity is coming with Alex, and it's just going to be the two of them.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's not the usual performance. I've only ever seen Verity. I've never seen her live, but I've seen her with a band. You know, I've never seen the two of them do their thing together, apart from the streams that they've been doing. And I love the live streams.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
They work so well together as a duo. They don't need a band. They should just go into the future just doing it themselves. And I just cannot wait to see them on stage together. I just think to be face to face with them, with all that banter that goes on between them, they're more like a comedy act.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they just put a lot of smiles and a lot of faces over the last year.
They're going to be so entertaining.
Credit to them, and bounce off each other brilliantly. And also, I think they feel they don't need to have a band anymore, because they're thinking of alternative journeys musically at the moment. Read quite a lot about it, and I saw them down at Leo's Red Lion with the Rock Cooperative, and they did a storming opening set, and it was really enjoyable. She told me I was a very bad, naughty, dirty boy and bopped me on the nose with a stick.
Is she right?
And then put it on TikTok. Never mind. That was a good night, actually, because Loz Campbell then played, and Loz Campbell is phenomenal. And by the way, she's got a new single out on Monday called Bad Girl.
Oh, I like those.
Everything Loz does is brilliant. Yeah. And it was Jack J. Hutchinson as well.
Oh.
At the Leos of the Red Lion.
Yeah.
Down in the far right east corner of the United Kingdom.
Right in the corner.
Even further down than you, Lee.
Even further down than me.
I mean, I thought you were in the arse. I thought you were in the arse of England. But
we are.
Those ends even further up the arse.
Charming.
It's a good job you don't write signs for places, isn't it?
Isn't it?
No. Oh, well, I have been responsible for a few logos of people, you know. It's like Dave Evans, who he's the main man in Dementia Aware. The first time I ever met him was in Birmingham for a Tyler gig. And because I'm renowned for my tact and my discretion.
Yes.
I told him when I met him that he wasn't as fat as I thought he was going to be. And now he has an animated cartoony moniker, you know, a bit like yours and mine, Victoria, from Dave Howard, saying, I'm not too fat and I'm not too thin.
There you go. I didn't realise you were known for your tact, mate. It wasn't something I associated with you.
I'm always polite to everybody.
Except those who don't deserve it.
Yeah, but my only stipulation. This is the small writing at the bottom of the contract. I basically don't like humans. I prefer dogs. I mean, like you, like Victoria. I like about 5,000 humans in the world.
Oh, 5,000 is quite a lot. I don't like 5,000 humans.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. I like about 100.
5.
I don't think I know 5,000 humans.
No,
but I love all dogs. I love all dogs. All dogs I love. Love them all. I want them all.
Dogs are better.
You need to get a dog to go with your cat. Ginger.
Yeah, my cat Ginger Wildheart. This is mental as ever. Little thing.
And you need to get a praying mantis.
I do. Following the phone from food.
Right. Yes. Anyway, this is the ticket link. There is an exact ticket link for CC7 XIII Shades of Black. Not that anyone will go and buy a ticket right now, but I'll just say it anyway. But this one gets you there. www.wegottickets.com/Crazy Cowboy live events. And in that long word at the end, there's a big C and a big C and a big L and a big E. And you can work out the letters, I mean. And it's on Saturday, the 19th of March at the Face Bar in Reading. The traffic is generally shit in Reading. So come the night before and we'll all meet up and get pissed then as well.
That sounds like a plan. That's certainly what I'm going to be doing. Or you can just go on the Facebook page either and get the ticket link off there.
Thank you, Victoria.
That's okay. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. So PK Malley's not comparing this one, is he? Because he's comparing.
No, that's entirely my fault. Because and I'm sorry, PK Malley, I must message him because this is the honest account of what's happened recently. First of all, I said to PK Malley last year during the pandemic pants, are you right for CC7 on March 19th? And PK Malley said yes. And in my head, I just thought, great, got PK Malley because he's brilliant. Then we did the poster, and then I went to my poster man. Yeah, just do that and that and that. Put them on, put all that on, blah, 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 leave it with you. I never put Pete on the poster. I didn't even notice. And then Victoria said to me a few weeks ago, PK Malley's not on the poster. He is coming, isn't he? I went, well, of course he is. But then
So I said, have you actually
Victoria,
asked him?
yeah, Victoria suggested that she actually checks. She did. And
So just
unfortunately,
assume that thinks he's read your mind.
yeah, because he wasn't on the poster, I think he said to Victoria, I don't know, I thought maybe I'd done something to upset Alec or something. That would never happen. But yeah, it was entirely my fault. And he's double booked now. So unfortunately, on this one occasion, there's no PK Malley. But I'm sure he will return and our paths will cross again.
Absolutely, because I'm going to book him next time.
Yes, you're in charge of everything
You
next
out
time,
of it.
Victoria.
I've told
We
him.
can only
that.
learn from my cock-ups, can't we?
Victoria's
So this
actually
time
asked him
round-
if he's coming.
Yeah.
So this time round, we will need probably about 13 compares. So, I mean, I don't mind doing one or two.
Well, yeah, we've
Lee's-
got a vague plan for that, haven't we? But
Lee's doing one. Did you know, Victoria? Did I tell you?
you did mention it, but I can't remember who you said it was.
It's a secret. Can't tell anyone. It's a surprise.
Right. Okay.
But Lee knows.
Just as well, I can't remember them. But yeah, I will probably do one, maybe two. I don't know. Never done it before, but then I've never done any of this before, so just chuck it in there. There's a few people who've mentioned it, and that we're just going to split it between everybody and see who makes people laugh the most.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to just grab someone randomly who I vaguely know.
You'll have someone out of the audience, you will.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
pick
definitely.
somebody out the front row.
People want to do that anyway. But yeah, I'm just going to grab one unawares and say, you're on stage. Here's the microphone. You've got to introduce them.
Yeah,
That'll be good.
go and introduce this band. You'll be asking people on the tram. Do you have the tram? I don't suppose
No,
you
that was ridiculous.
That's fine.
You have to go
I don't
play.
know what a bus is.
Just grab someone outside having a fag who's unaware, mate.
Yeah,
Be all right.
yeah. We're in the red light district, so anything's possible. I could grab anyone, really.
Oh, good Lord.
So just be
I mean,
careful who you
definitely
grab
not-
because you might have to pay someone if you're grabbing them from a red light district.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. mind you
It's
don't-
definitely not the poshest end of town, Lee.
No.
Oh, you already know that.
Well, then they won't mind us making too much noise, will they?
No, they never mind.
No, they're good like that.
Crazy Cowboy is a noisy old festival, isn't it?
Oh,
Yes.
the good ones are.
Loud.
Mm.
No one wants a quiet festival.
Mm-mm.
No one at all. So have you guys got any plans for a CC8 or any future plans?
I have. I just got to convince the main man that it's a good idea. It won't take me long. No, there are still a lot of bands that we're very interested in. Ones that we considered for this year, but for one reason or another couldn't put on. And there's a lot of bands that are interested in us as well. Quite a few new bands that have approached us and asked if they can work with us, and because they like the way that we do things. They don't want to go with the regular organisers. So, it would be a shame not to take advantage of that, really. You can stop looking at me like that because you know it's going to happen.
Oh, I forgot you could see me because I'm on a phone.
Yeah, I can see you. But there's plans in place for all sorts of things out there. We're thinking about venturing in other directions as well. We're going to do a lot more with the social media side of things.
Cool.
We're launching a YouTube channel at some point when I've figured out how to do it. We're going to do more interviews, more features. Try and take a few bands on tour, maybe, if it sticks out.
Nice.
I'm not driving.
Yeah.
I'm not driving.
You're not driving?
Not this time.
No. Okay. Well, nobody says you have to.
Oh, good. That's all right. I might buy another splitter van or two. But that's always a possibility. But now that Ben 10's basically dead, end of an era.
Isn't it?
Victoria, I also have Victoria and Lee.
I also have, like, I feel myself possibly going in a completely different direction, musical style wise, if this is to happen. And I've recently found myself getting more and more back into disco. So,
Bye then.
Victoria, you were committed for this. And
you want to organise something, Victoria? Me and you.
Yeah. Can we switch him off now?
Yeah.
And we'll just chat.
Yeah, but I have to admit, I mean,
When do you disco
she's
dance
possibly
elsewhere?
she's possibly out of the budget of £4.50 and a packet of polos. But you know, Donna Summer, Debbie Harry. I know she's not disco. She's just Debbie Harry. I've decided against the Bee Gees. I think they're all dead, actually, so that's not going to happen anyway.
Might be one of them left. But...
They've really got Barry Gibb left, haven't you?
No, we're not doing a Crazy Cowboy disco dancing festival. Rest assured.
Donna Summer.
Donna Summer's dead as well.
What?
What are you going to do? Dig them all up?
Is Donna Summer dead?
She died about 10 years ago, didn't she?
No.
Didn't she die in 2012, 2013, something like that?
Oh, shut up! Are you?
Honestly,
are you having a giraffe?
No,
she's dead.
Well, it doesn't matter because Annabelle. I've already told Annabelle.
So you're going to get Annabelle to do it, are you?
Well, I've already told her. You know, every now and again, a band picks up on a cover and they become world famous. You know, on newfangled sort of social media things like TikTok and things like that. I have told Annabelle that Circus 66 should cover Hot Stuff. And I've also told her that if they play it at 13 Shades of Black, I will take all of my clothes off while they're playing it.
Do you want her to play it or not? I can't work that one out.
Well, we're never going to get to hear that then, are we?
I can actually see them doing quite a cool cover of it, though.
You know, yeah.
Brilliant
at it.
Yeah.
I hope they do. I'm going to have to go and reassure them now that there's not going to be any danger of nudity so that they can actually feel okay to go ahead with it.
Okay, I'll stand by the side of the stage with like a bucket of cold water, and if Alec gets a bit thingy, we can just douse him.
Yeah, just hose him down.
Lee, if I'm going to take all my clothes off, there is nothing you can do to stop me.
That's the worrying thing.
It happened in Glossop as well. It's just inevitable. No, don't. Oh, seriously though, folks, I'm not going to drink all the whiskey. It'll be fine.
I've missed you, mate. I really have.
It's a resounding silence.
Anyway, we're just talking like mates at a pub now. I feel an urgent desire to go. Hello, Joe. Are you all right over there in the corner with Ginger Wild Heart?
She's upstairs. She's gone in the studio to go do some drawing or something. She was over there, but
no, I know. But I remember you looking at her, unless you were making it up, and then ventriloquizing her voice. I suppose you could have done that.
I'm not that talented, mate.
Oh, you're going to have fun editing all the crap out of this one, aren't you?
I was
He's just not going to edit it.
All the nonsense.
I just have to do it like I did when I interviewed Jazz Coleman, when he literally every other word he said was fuck, and then went about conspiracy theories.
God.
And it was like, all right, okay, do you want to talk about new album, Jazz, or do you just want to
talk about conspiracy theories?
Yeah, that was fun. I'm a big Killing Joke fan, so it was really cool to talk to him. But
oh yeah.
He's a really good bloke, and most of it was all right. But there was about 45 minutes. It was one where I was told you've got 20 minutes. And I was like, cool. And I spoke to him for like an hour and a half. And he was basically stoned out of his tits in Mexico while I was like interviewing him.
Fair play to you. I don't know. You have spoken to some real fucking superstars in the last year or so. You pulled some right fucking rabbits out of the hat. Amazing.
Most of it's just by being a cheeky bastard, I'll be honest, and just emailing people and saying, do you fancy it? So
do you reckon you'd ever manage to get Ricky Warwick up at Just Push Play one day? Because I know you.
I'd love to.
Do you reckon there's a chance of that? Did you ever mention that? I know when you talk to him.
I know his management quite well because I've had some other bands on at Just Push Play. It's been
they're playing in Reading in a couple of weeks. Well, he's solo band, you know.
Yeah. I saw those on the dates when I was chatting to him.
That'd be a hell of a coup, mate. That'd be a hell of a coup.
I mean, I love.
He's another one on my little list. It didn't quite happen.
Yeah.
Although I did manage to pull a blinder and sing Finest Hour with him at fucking Bournemouth. That was a bit of a miracle.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I've got the video of it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, I was blinding. And then Scott Gore, it was with Black Star Riders. Scott Gorham turned around to me and went, "That was all right, man. That was all right." I went, "Yeah, I bet you say that to all the boys, you fuck." I think Scott standing next to Scott Gorham was just weird.
Yeah,
So I fucking love Thin Lizzy.
Yeah. Right.
Although I prefer Ricky Warwick when he does his tours and he plays a bit of everything, does a bit of Almighty and a load of solo stuff and all the bands he's played with. I prefer that to Black Star Riders. I find them a bit. I'm bored with them after an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're brilliant musicians and stuff, but I don't know. If they were playing in Reading, I probably wouldn't go. Put it that way. It was Ricky Warwick. Well, I will be going to that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I can't wait for that tour. It's going to be really good.
And he is one of the humblest, most genuine, true to his word, major musicians you could imagine. Everything that comes out of his mouth is from the heart. And I love the way he says, like when he went on tour with his kind of solo band, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago. And I saw him 2 days running. I saw him in Birmingham and it was absolutely rammed. And then the next day, it was an O2 tour. The next day I saw him in Oxford and there was like fuck all there, like 30, 40 people. The performance on both nights was just as good. And at the Oxford thing, there was a lot of things going on that night, other big events. And he wasn't in a sulk about it or anything. He said, "Thank you so much for coming. And just remember, we supply the rock, you supply the roll. Without the both of us, this will never happen." And he said that at the Oxford show when there was fuck all there. And similar musicians of that sort of standing would probably have gone off in a strop, not on an encore and all that sort of bullshit. Not Ricky Warwick. And then he came out afterwards as well, talked to everyone.
Yeah, I had a really good chat with him. Him and Damon Johnson did a solo acoustic tour thing.
Yeah,
and they were playing a pub in Norwich, which was ridiculous because it was a pub that I'd played. And so I went back to it, and they were playing that, and they did all covers and Thin Lizzy tunes and Black Star Rider stuff. And then afterwards, they just stood around at the bar talking to everyone. Both of them were really, really cool people. No, there was no bollocks about any of them. Either of them.
No. And it's weird because he looks hard as nails when you're stood close to him and he's playing.
Oh yeah.
You're like doffing the cap and watching your P's and Q's and putting your hands behind your back. And then you speak to him, he's the nicest bloke on the planet.
Oh, so when I did the interview with him that I had tonight, I was sat here like we are, and as always, got my cap on. We turned on and we both had the same hat on, and it was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. I just thought, he's going to think I'm some weird fucking stalker.
Yeah, like
yes.
The Alan Partridge. Remember the Alan Partridge skit one? When he takes him back to his house?
Yeah.
And there's 75 Alan Partridge cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, for fuck's sake. So, all right, guys. One more thing before we wrap this up.
Yep.
Normally, I would get a band, whoever I'm interviewing, to choose a song either side. But as we're doing a takeover show, we are going to be playing all the bands on the lineup that we've just mentioned for CC7 across the show. But what bands in particular would you like me to play at the beginning and at the end of this interview?
Victoria, go for it. What do you think?
A CC7 band?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard now because that means I've got to pick one. Can't.
Sorry, we're going to play them all across the show. So
yeah. All right. Well, I would choose a Perla song, and I would choose Control.
Oh, good choice. Yeah, I love that song.
I think that will pick up everybody's interest.
Definitely.
Put it that way.
All right, Alec, one from you, dude.
Is this for the end?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm going to say. Mama sang the blues, Daddy drank all the wine. The acoustic version by my beloved, the Suicide Notes. Because when the pandemic hit, it made me smile, regardless.
Perfect. Well, thanks for your time, guys. It's been good to talk to you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
No, pleasure.
And we'll see you at the festival.
It's been a pleasure, Victoria. Thank you very much for everything.
Oh, you're welcome.
And it's been a pleasure, Lee. Thank you much for everything too. And you can keep your hats because it doesn't suit me.
It is.